Hey, calm down. Calm down. It's okay. Hey, look at me for a second, please. You're fine. You're fine. Breathe. Breathe, okay? You just woke up a little fast, that's all. You're safe. Nothing's wrong. I promise. Just slow down. Slow down. I'm right here, okay? You're in my room, on my bed. You're not in trouble. Nothing bad happened. Nobody's mad at you. Nobody's looking for you. It's just the two of us here. I know you're confused. I know you don't remember anything. Your eyes say everything right now. You were really, really drunk last night. That's why you're waking up like this. Hey, just focus on my voice, all right? Yeah, that's better. Just keep looking at me. I'm not going anywhere. I've been right here the whole night. You can relax. I know your heart's racing, but you don't need to panic. Nothing scary happened. Nothing you're going to regret or freak out about. You didn't do anything wrong, okay? You were actually really sweet, really gentle. And honestly, you kinda wouldn't let go of me, which is why I'm still right here with you. But we'll get to that, okay? Right now, I just want you to breathe and let yourself wake up properly. Yeah, I know the room looks unfamiliar, but that's because it's mine. You fell asleep here, I put you here, and I stayed because you wouldn't relax unless I did. You're safe, you're warm, you're not hurt, you're not alone. Just stay close for a second. That's it. Good. Now that you're calmer, I'll explain everything. Before I even start telling you everything, I need you to hear this part first. You didn't push me. You didn't hurt me. Nothing happened that you need to be scared about. I didn't force you into anything, and you didn't force me into anything either. We're here because things just happened, and you were so out of it that I had to keep you close, all right? So stop panicking for a second and let me talk. It all started when I spilled my drink on someone. Yeah, right on him, and he snapped at me. He was yelling like I ruined his entire life over one stupid drink. And everyone was staring at me, and I just froze because I didn't even know what to say. And then you showed up, out of nowhere. Like 1 second I was alone, and the next you were standing in front of me, glaring at him like he was the problem with the entire planet. And you were drunk, like really drunk. But the moment you saw him yelling at me, you went cold sober in your eyes. And you didn't even ask what happened, you just stepped between us like you were shielding me from something. And he tried to push past you, and you shoved him back without even thinking. And the whole room just stopped. Everyone was watching you, and I was just staring at you because I had never seen you like that before. Not annoyed, not irritated, not distant, just protective, completely protective. So, when he tried to come at you again, you didn't wait. You didn't hesitate. You punched him. One clean hit. And I swear the entire party went silent, like someone muted the world. And his friends tried to jump in, but you pushed every single one of them back, and you kept telling them to stay away from me, stay away from me. Like you weren't even thinking about yourself at all. And I was just standing there, completely shocked, because I had no idea you had that in you. No idea you would ever step in for me like that. Not after the way we've always acted around each other. And then you turned around and looked at me, and suddenly your voice dropped. It got so soft, so gentle. You asked me if I was okay. You held my arm like you were scared I was shaking, even though you were the one completely gone from how much you drank. And you grabbed my hand really tightly, like you didn't want me to disappear. And then you pulled me away from everyone upstairs, away from the lights, away from the music, away from everyone who was staring. You kept saying, "You're fine, I've got you." And you didn't let go of my hand the entire time. Not once. And when we reached the room, you sat down with me, still holding on to me like I was going to fall apart. And you were drunk, yeah, but you weren't out of control. You were just honest, raw, real. And listen, before you say anything, you need to understand how shocked I was. You have no idea how you looked last night. You were drunk, yes, completely gone, but somehow you still managed to be the bravest person in the entire room. I swear, when you stepped in like that, I didn't even recognize you. It didn't feel like the same guy who barely looks at me or argues with me every time we're in the same space. No, last night you were someone else. Someone who didn't even think twice before putting himself between me and someone bigger than both of us. Someone who didn't care who was watching. Someone who didn't care if he got hit. You were just there for me. And the way you stared at him, the way your voice dropped, the way you told him to leave, it was like you had been waiting your whole life to do it. And it made my chest feel weird. And when everything calmed down and you turned and looked at me, my whole body just froze. Because you didn't look irritated or annoyed or tired of me. You looked worried, genuinely worried, like I mattered, like you actually cared. And I didn't know how to handle that because I've never seen you look at me like that. Not once. And then when you touched my arm to see if I was shaking, I swear I almost forgot the entire room existed because you were so gentle. And then you said, "You're okay. I've got you." And nobody has ever said that to me like that before, especially not you. And that's when I realized something in me was changing really fast. And then, before I could even process the way you were looking at me, you picked me up. Yes, you actually picked me up, like it was the easiest thing in the world. And don't argue with me about it, because I remember exactly how it felt. Your arms were warm and steady, and even though you were drunk, you didn't wobble or drop me or anything. You held me like you wanted to keep me safe from everything and everyone, and I couldn't even breathe properly because I wasn't expecting that. Not from you, not ever. And the whole way upstairs, you kept whispering little things. You're fine. I'm right here. Just hold on to me. And I didn't even know how to react because every time we talk when we're sober, we're snapping at each other, we're rolling our eyes, we're annoyed. But last night, you were carrying me in your arms like I was something fragile. And the moment we got into the room, you didn't let go, not even for a second. You sat down with me, still in your lap, still holding me like I'd fall if you loosened your grip. And then you tucked my hair behind my ear and asked me again if I was okay. And your voice was so soft, so painfully soft, like I was something precious. And it completely destroyed every idea I had about you, every assumption, every story I told myself, every reason I thought you hated me. All of it just fell apart right there, in your arms. And when you finally started getting tired, you didn't push me away. You didn't move me to the side. You didn't even try to act tough or distant. You just leaned your head on my shoulder for a second, and then you wrapped both arms around me and pulled me against you like you needed me close to fall asleep. And you were still drunk, yeah, but you weren't sloppy. You weren't out of control. You were just honest. Every emotion you try to hide when you're sober was right there in the way you held me. And I didn't have the heart to move away. I didn't want to. I felt safe and warm and seen. And when you finally lay back on the bed, you pulled me with you without even realizing it. And I ended up right here, exactly like this, tucked against you, your hand still holding mine even in your sleep. And the craziest part is, I didn't want to leave, not even for a second. Because last night showed me something I never expected to see from you. The real you. The one who protects without thinking. The one who cares without admitting it. The one who held me like I mattered more than anything. And that's why I'm still here. That's why we woke up like this. And that's why I need to tell you everything else. Because last night changed everything. I didn't think you cared. Honestly, I thought you couldn't stand me. I thought every time I talked, you were annoyed. Every time I entered a room, you just wanted to leave. Every time my name came up, you rolled your eyes. And I know you don't think you did that, but you did. And I noticed. And I told myself you were rude. I told myself you were stuck up, cold, and too proud to even look at me properly. I told myself that you didn't like me because of who I was and the way I acted and the friends I had, and I hated the idea of caring what you thought. But I did, way more than I should have. And that's why last night hit me so hard. Because everything you did, everything you said, every way you held me, it didn't match the version of you that I convinced myself was real. Instead, it felt like the opposite. It felt like you were someone I didn't know at all. Someone softer, someone warmer, someone I would have let close a long time ago if I knew that person existed. And the way you looked at me last night, even drunk, even half asleep, it wasn't fake. It wasn't annoyance. It wasn't hatred. It was something else. Something I haven't stopped thinking about since the moment it happened. And I think you deserve to hear how all of that changed the way I see you. Because, honestly, after everything that happened, I can't look at you the same way anymore. Not even close. The guy I thought you were. The one who kept his distance. The one who avoided me. the one who barely talked unless he had to. He disappeared the moment you stepped in front of me last night. It was like I saw the real you for the first time. Not the quiet one, not the irritated one, not the one who looks like he's judging me all the time, but the one who actually feels things. The one who cares even when he doesn't admit it. The one who protects people without asking for anything back. And it messed with me. It really did. Because you weren't supposed to be like that. Not with me. And when you carried me, when you held me so tightly, when your voice dropped and you kept telling me I was safe, it felt like you were letting me see a part of you nobody else gets to see. And I know you were drunk. I know you don't remember. But that doesn't make it any less real. Because drunk or not, you didn't fake it. You didn't pretend. You didn't hesitate. You just acted on instinct. And that instinct was to protect me, to take care of me, to hold me. And I haven't been able to stop thinking about it because I didn't know you had that in you. I didn't know you could be that gentle, or that brave, or that good. And it made me realize something I really didn't expect to feel, something I didn't want to admit until now, that maybe I never hated you. Maybe I was just scared of what you made me feel. And now, lying here, right next to you, seeing you look at me like you actually want to understand what I'm saying, it just makes everything inside me feel even more real. Because the truth is, the way I saw you before wasn't fair. It wasn't the whole picture. It wasn't even half of who you really are. And maybe I didn't want to admit that because it meant accepting that I misjudged you badly. And it meant accepting that the person I thought I couldn't stand is the same person who made me feel safe for the first time in forever. And when I woke up this morning and saw you lying right here beside me, confused, breathing hard, looking so lost and vulnerable, something in me just softened all over again. Because you didn't wake up angry or annoyed or distant. You woke up scared. And the first thing you did was grab onto me like you needed me close. And I don't know how else to say this, but it made me want to stay. It made me want to be the person you wake up next to. It made me want to keep talking to you like this. Without the walls, without the pretending, without the stupid distance we kept because we were both too stubborn to talk like real people. And I can't hide it anymore. I like you. I really do. And I'm not going to take that back. Not after everything that happened, not after the way last night felt, and not after waking up in your arms and realizing I didn't want to move even for a second. There's more I need to say, because this isn't just about what happened last night or how you protected me or how you held me. It's about how everything you did made me realize how wrong I've been about you for so long. Because when I think about all the times I brushed you off or rolled my eyes or pretended I didn't care what you thought, the truth is I cared too much and I didn't know what to do with that. And maybe that's why I convinced myself you hated me, because it was easier than admitting I wanted you to see me, really see me. Not as my friend's annoying best friend, or the girl who talks too much, or the girl who laughs too loud, but just me. And last night, for the first time, I felt like you did. Like you actually saw me. And not because you were drunk, not because you were emotional, but because something in you reacted the second someone hurt me. Something in you refused to let anyone treat me badly. And that part of you, that instinct, that fire, that protectiveness, that was the moment everything inside me flipped. And I can't pretend it didn't. I can't act like last night was meaningless or like it didn't affect me, because it did. It changed everything. And I'm still trying to process how someone I thought didn't even like me ended up being the reason I felt so safe that I fell asleep in his arms and woke up wanting to be right back there again. And I don't know if you feel anything like that. I don't know if this is one-sided, but I need you to understand that something in me shifted the second you stood in front of me last night, and it hasn't gone back since. Even now, even after everything I've told you, I still feel that same pull toward you, like my chest gets tight when you look at me, like you actually care what I'm saying. Like all the memories I had of you being cold or distant don't even make sense anymore, because they don't match the person I'm lying next to right now. And I keep replaying every moment from last night in my head. The way your voice changed when you saw someone yelling at me, the way your hands tightened around my arms to make sure I wasn't shaken up, the way you kept whispering, "You're fine, I've got you," like it was the most natural thing in the world. And then the way you carried me, like you weren't even thinking about how silly it might look, or how heavy I was, or how drunk you were. You just picked me up and held me like you'd been dying to hold me for years. And everything about that moment felt so real, so raw, so honest. And it scares me, because I don't know how you're going to feel about all this now that you're sober and actually listening. But I can't pretend last night didn't mean something to me. I can't pretend it didn't wake something up in me that I've been trying to ignore. Like, maybe I never actually disliked you. Maybe I was just scared that if you ever saw the real me, you'd push me away. But you didn't. You pulled me closer. And for the first time, I didn't want to push you away either. I wanted to stay right here, exactly like this. I can feel my whole body shaking, because it's terrifying to admit how much you change things without even realizing it. Like, I keep thinking about how different you were last night compared to every other day we've known each other. How you didn't try to act cool or distant or annoyed. How you didn't hide behind silence or rolled eyes or awkward half smirks. You were just you, real, unfiltered, honest. And it made me realize how much of you I never bothered to understand, because I assumed the worst. And I hate that. I hate that I didn't see what was right in front of me. That I didn't see the guy who would step in without thinking, the guy who would fight for me, the guy who would check if I was okay even when he could barely stand, the guy who would hold me through the night and not let go. And I keep wondering what would have happened if last night never happened, if I never saw that side of you, if you never showed me who you really are. Because then we'd still be stuck in that stupid cycle of pretending we can't stand each other, when all along maybe that wasn't even true. Maybe all that tension between us was something else, something neither of us wanted to admit. And now that I've seen what's underneath all of it, now that I've felt you holding me like you needed me, I can't go back to pretending. I can't pretend I don't care. I can't pretend last night didn't change everything, because it did, and I don't want it to stop here. Last night didn't just change how I see you, it changed how I see myself too. And that's terrifying for me, because you don't understand how closed off I used to be, how much I kept people at arm's length, how much I refused to let anyone truly know me. I acted like I was fine, like I didn't need anyone, like laughing with your sister and a few girls was enough. But deep down, I didn't trust people. I didn't let guys get close. I didn't date. I didn't talk about how I really felt. I didn't open up, not even a little. I always told myself it was safer to keep everything locked away, to block out everyone before they had a chance to disappoint me or hurt me or make me feel stupid for caring. And then you, of all people, walked into my life in a way I didn't expect. Not with sweet words, not with flirting, not with attention, but with this strange combination of distance and unspoken tension that I pretended to hate. But last night, you made me realize I didn't hate it at all. I was just scared of it. Scared of the way my chest tightened when you were near. Scared of how much your opinion mattered. Scared of how much I watched you without admitting it. And when you stepped in front of me and protected me without thinking, when you held me like you were afraid to let go, something in me cracked open. Something I didn't know existed anymore. Something I thought I killed off by staying guarded for so long. And I don't want to pretend that didn't happen. Not after the way you made me feel. Not after the way you changed me. I feel like you tore through all of it without even trying. And that's what scares me the most, because nobody has ever made me feel safe the way you did. Nobody has ever looked at me the way you looked at me when you thought I might be hurt. Nobody has ever held me with that kind of raw honesty, like you weren't performing or pretending or acting cool, but just being exactly who you are underneath everything. And you need to understand something about me. I never let people see the real me. Not the vulnerable parts, not the insecure parts, not the parts that get nervous when someone looks at me for too long. I hide those pieces because I always assumed nobody would know what to do with them. But when you were holding me last night, when your voice dropped and you kept whispering that I was safe, that you had me, that nothing was going to happen to me, something inside me felt seen for the first time in so long, and I didn't pull away. I didn't freeze. I didn't panic the way I normally do. Instead, I found myself leaning closer without thinking, like my body trusted you before my mind did. And that's how I know this wasn't some drunk moment I imagined. This wasn't something exaggerated or dramatic. This wasn't something meaningless. Because when someone who never lets anyone in suddenly feels comfortable falling asleep in someone's arms, that means something. That means everything. And that's why I'm telling you all this now, because you made me realize I don't have to stay closed off forever, not when someone like you is willing to break through it. And now that I'm finally admitting all of this, now that I'm actually saying the words I've avoided for so long, I can feel how big this moment is for me. Because I'm not someone who gets attached easily. I'm not someone who falls for people randomly. I'm not someone who gives my heart to whoever stands closest. I've always been careful, guarded, distant, terrified of letting anyone get close enough to matter. But you ruined all of that without even realizing it. You walked right past every wall I built like they weren't even there. You made me feel things I forced myself to ignore. You made me want to be understood, want to be held, want to be honest for once in my life. And I didn't know that could happen to me. I didn't know I could feel something this strong, this sudden, this real. But I do, and I can't take it back. I don't want to take it back. Not after everything that happened last night. Not after the way you carried me like I mattered. Not after the way you kept holding me, even in your sleep. Not after the way you calmed down the moment you woke up and saw me next to you. It all means something, and I'm done pretending it doesn't. I'm done pretending we're nothing. Done pretending I don't care. Done pretending this didn't change me. Because it did. You did. And I want this. I want you. I want whatever last night started. And I'm not scared to admit it anymore. Not to you. Not right now. Not while we're still lying here together. Okay. Now that all the serious stuff is out of the way, can I just say something kind of stupid? Something I probably shouldn't even be thinking about right now, but whatever. We're already here, so I'm saying it. Do you realize how funny this is? Like, actually funny. Imagine if your sister woke up right now and walked in here. Imagine her face. Imagine the way she'd scream your name and then my name and then probably pass out right on the spot because she would never expect to see us like this. Like, not even close. And honestly, I don't even know what I would say if she did walk in. Probably something like, "Hey, surprise," and then runs straight out the window. But relax, she's knocked out. Deep asleep, trust me. She didn't even know half the people left. She was too tired to care. Everyone went home safely. I made sure. I checked. I asked around. Nobody crashed. Nobody got lost. Nobody got into trouble, except that guy you punched. Yeah, him. I don't know if he's safe, but that's not our problem because you definitely taught him a lesson. And honestly, the way people reacted when you picked me up, oh my God, you should have seen their faces, like they were watching some dramatic movie scene happen in slow motion. It was hilarious, but also kind of cute, kind of unbelievably sweet. And I know I shouldn't be laughing, but the way you held me, like you didn't care who was watching, made half the party go silent. You were like some dramatic hero in a teenage romance movie, and everyone else was just background characters. And now that I'm lying here, talking to you like this, I can't lie. I actually love spending time with you. Like, I mean it. I didn't expect to feel this comfortable around you, but now I don't want this morning to end. And speaking of people reacting, we have to talk about the rumors because, oh my God, you have no idea how fast people talk. Especially after a party. Like, I swear, by the time we reached the top of the stairs, 5 people were already whispering. And by the time we got to my room, it turned into 10, then 15, then basically the whole house. Everyone saw you picking me up like that. Everyone saw you holding me like that. Everyone saw the way you were looking at me, even drunk, and everyone definitely saw the way I was holding on to you like I'd die if you let go. So yeah, people are gonna talk. College rumors spread like wildfire, and honestly, I'm not even scared of that anymore because last night was real and I don't care what anyone says about it. And do you know what some people were saying? This part is actually funny. Someone said they thought we were secretly dating and just hiding it from everyone. Another person said you probably had feelings for me for a long time, and last night was the moment you finally snapped. Someone else said you looked jealous when that guy yelled at me, which is hilarious because you were just drunk and protective, but now I can't stop thinking about how cute that rumor is. And if I'm being honest, I don't mind any of it. I don't mind if people talk. I don't mind if they make up stories. I don't mind if they assume things. Because for the first time, I don't feel like hiding. I don't feel like pretending nothing happened. I actually like the idea of people knowing something happened between us. And I want to know what you think about all of that. And before you even try to answer that, let me say something else because I can feel myself getting all flustered again just thinking about everything. I know this morning feels unreal, like we're in some weird alternate universe where we're suddenly close and laughing and talking like this, but it doesn't feel wrong. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. It actually feels right. Like, this is something that was supposed to happen, but we were too stubborn, too guarded, too scared to let it happen any earlier. And hearing myself say that out loud is insane, but I'm not gonna pretend otherwise, because lying here with you, talking about your sister freaking out if she saw us, laughing about the rumors, remembering the way you carried me like I weighed nothing, thinking about how everyone stared at us like we were the main characters of the night, all of it just makes me feel warm and stupidly happy. And I don't usually let myself feel like this with anyone, but with you, it just feels natural. Like I don't have to force anything or hide anything or second guess every word I say. And I love that. I love that I can joke with you and still feel safe. I love that I can tease you about last night and still feel close. I love that I can lie here next to you and actually want to stay longer. And I know this sounds dramatic, but I kind of love this version of us. The one where we actually talk. The one where we actually listen. The one where we're not pretending we can't stand each other. And honestly, I want to keep this going. And you know what's crazy? The more I talk to you, the more I realize how many fears I've been hiding for so long. Like, I used to be terrified of what people thought of me. Every laugh, every whisper, every stare, I took it personally. I convinced myself people judged me before they even knew me. And that's why I kept so much distance. That's why I never opened up. That's why I kept everything on the surface. Why I pretended everything was fine, even when it wasn't. Because I thought if I let anyone in, they would use it against me, or twist it, or leave me. And I didn't want to feel stupid for trusting the wrong person. But last night, when you stepped in like that, when you didn't care who was watching, or what they thought, or what rumor would spread, it made me realize how safe it feels to be around someone who actually means what they do. You didn't protect me to impress anyone. You didn't carry me to make people talk. You didn't hold me to show off. You did it because you wanted to, because you cared. And that kind of honesty, that kind of instinctive protectiveness, it made all those fears I used to hold on to feel small. Like they didn't have any power anymore. And lying here with you now, talking like this, I don't feel scared at all. I don't feel judged. I don't feel insecure. I feel understood. And that's because of you. Because you're the kind of person who makes other people feel safe just by being there. And I didn't know someone like you existed until you showed me last night. That's why I keep saying you changed me. Because you really did. I don't think you understand how rare that is. How rare it is to meet someone who makes you want to be open, to be honest, to be vulnerable, to be yourself without thinking twice. Because before you, I never felt that with anyone. Never, not once. I always kept a piece of myself hidden away, like a backup plan, in case someone decided I wasn't worth sticking around for. But with you, even right now, I don't feel the need to hold anything back. I don't feel like I need to pretend or act or filter myself. I feel like I can just be me. And that's because you make it so easy. You make everything feel so natural. And I don't know how you do it, but you have this way of making me feel like I matter, like I'm worth listening to, like my feelings actually mean something. And it's not just because of what you did last night. It's the way you're looking at me right now, the way you're letting me talk, the way you're taking me seriously, the way you're letting me say everything I've kept in for years. And it makes me respect you even more because you didn't just protect me physically, you made me feel emotionally safe too. You made me feel like I wasn't alone, and I haven't felt that in so long. And the truth is, I admire you so much. The way you act without thinking, the way you stand up for people, the way you carry yourself even when you're unsure. You don't even realize how strong you are, how good you are, how someone like me could look at you and just feel grateful that you're here. And I know I'm saying a lot, but I've been holding this in for so long that it almost feels impossible to stop now. Because every word I say just makes me realize how much you've changed the way I see myself. I used to think I wasn't enough, not confident enough, not interesting enough, not calm enough, not perfect enough. I used to overthink everything, replay every mistake, worry about every tiny thing. But when I'm with you, all of that quiets down. All of it fades. Because you have this way of making me feel like I don't have to be perfect to be worth something. Like just being me is enough. And nobody has ever made me feel that way before. Nobody. And I don't know how to explain how much that means to me. Because it's not just comfort, it's not just affection, it's respect. Real respect. And that's what makes me want to be better. Makes me want to open up more, makes me want to actually try. Because having someone like you beside me, someone who listens, someone who protects, someone who looks at me like I'm something special, it makes me want to trust. It makes me want to grow. It makes me want to let myself feel everything I've been avoiding. And maybe that's why I feel so close to you right now. Because you didn't just change how I see you, you changed how I see myself. And I don't ever want to lose that. I don't want to lose you. I want to stay right here with you for as long as you'll let me. And now that we're here, lying like this, after everything that happened, I just keep thinking about how different this morning could have been. How different last night could have been, how easily things could have gone wrong or gotten messy or turned into something awkward or disappointing. But instead, it turned into something I can't stop replaying in my head. something that feels warm every time I think about it. And I know that sounds ridiculous because everything started from such a chaotic moment, but somehow that moment led to all of this, to us being here, talking like this, opening up like this, actually trusting each other. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful it happened exactly the way it did, every second of it. The way you stepped in, the way you protected me, the way you carried me, the way you held on to me, even when you didn't realize it, all of it. And I know you don't remember every detail, but I do. And I'll remember it for a long time. Not because it was dramatic or crazy or shocking, but because it showed me exactly who you are underneath everything. And waking up next to you, seeing your face when you realized where you were, feeling your hands still wrapped around mine, it made me feel like the universe was giving me a moment I didn't know I needed. Like everything that hurt or scared me before suddenly didn't matter as much. Because somehow last night brought out the best parts of both of us. And I don't want that to fade. I don't want to pretend it never happened. I want to carry it with me. And I want you to carry it with you too, because it means more than you think. And, the more I think about it, the more I realize how proud I am of you. Not just for what you did last night, but for how you handled this morning too. You could have freaked out. You could have blamed yourself. You could have shut down or pushed me away or acted like none of this mattered. But you didn't. You listened. You let me talk. You let me be honest. And you didn't run from any of it. And that tells me so much about who you really are. Someone strong, someone steady, someone who doesn't collapse under pressure, even when he's confused or scared. Someone who shows up even when he doesn't mean to. Someone that changes the entire room just by walking into it. And I don't think you hear that enough. I don't think you realize how much of an impact you have on the people around you, especially me. Because last night, when everything went quiet after you stepped in, when people were staring but you didn't care, when you looked at me with that soft voice and asked if I was okay, I felt something shift inside me, something I didn't even know was stuck. And waking up next to you made that feeling even stronger. And every time you look at me right now, it hits me again that maybe this was supposed to happen. Maybe the universe isn't as random as we think. Maybe people really do come into our lives exactly when they're meant to. And I'm grateful that it was you. Grateful that it was last night. Grateful that it's this morning. Grateful that it's us. And I hope you know that. And before we get up, before we go back downstairs or deal with your sister or face whatever rumors are gonna start spreading, I want you to hear this. Really hear it. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for what happened. I'm grateful for the way everything unfolded, even the parts that felt messy or unexpected or chaotic, because all of it brought us right here in this exact moment. And I don't want you to worry about what comes next, or what people might say, or whether things will get complicated, or whether you did anything wrong, because you didn't. You didn't ruin anything, you didn't break anything, you didn't make anything worse. You actually made everything better. And I want you to believe that. I want you to believe that sometimes things happen exactly how they're supposed to, even if they don't make sense at first. And I want you to trust that this wasn't an accident, that this wasn't meaningless, that this wasn't just a drunk night that gets forgotten in the morning, because I'm not forgetting it, ever. And I don't want you either. And if you ever feel unsure or scared or confused about where this is going, just remember what I told you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here, and I'll stay right here for as long as you want me. Because for the first time in a long time, I actually feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I hope you feel that too. Because I want whatever this is, whatever we're becoming, and I want it with you.